I want to talk about writing some blues lyrics. And this can be great to have your students learn to write their own blues lyrics. Blues lyrics are simple to write. The students will love to do it, and it's easy to show them how to do it. We're going to be talking about writing blues to a blues form that is 12 bars long, 12-bar blues. Now, this 12 bars can be divided into 3 groups of 4 measures. That's really important because we're going to be writing the lyrics in those groups. And we're going to pick the key of A first. A is a good key because the chords are simple. It'll be simple for your students. A7 and D7 and E7. And also you can play open the power chords for the blues in A also. So the 12-bar blues, you need to know that the 12-bar blues, you've got a measure of A7, 1 of D7, 2 measures of A7, then 2 measures of D7, 2 measures of A7, then 1 measure of E7, 1 measure of D7, 1 measure of A7, and then 1 measure of E7 on the end if you're going to repeat. Sometimes that's called the turnaround. Now you want to pick a topic that you're going to write about, and you want to make up some words. They're going to last about 10 beats. And this is called a phrase, and it's like a musical sentence. Now you want to sing those words in the first maybe 2.5 or 3 measures of the 12-bar blues form. And then you want to pause for 1 or 1.5 measures. And that'll make up the first 4 bars, okay? Now you sing some words that take that length of time. Then you sing the same words and the same melody again for the next 4 measures. Now in the last 4 measures, the last word has to rhyme the last word in the previous 2 groups of 4 measures, or in the previous phrases. For example, if you wrote, "I've got the Monday morning blues, don't want this day to start," those words are sung in the first 4 measures. Then those same words, "I've got the Monday morning blues, don't want this day to start," are sung in the next 4 measures. Then the last word in the last 4 measures has to rhyme the last word in the previous 4 measures. In this case, the word start. So in the last 4 bars, you might write, "Thinking about the day ahead, it's tearing me apart." Here's another example. Here's some words that might be okay for your students. The first phrase might be, "What can I do to make her notice me today?" Then you sing those words again, "What can I do to make her notice me today?" Then, "Maybe I'll just say hello, but what else could I say?" So you've rhymed that. Now the progression in the form can be repeated over and over for different verses. So here's an example of that Monday morning blues. Now you notice I've got a little pickup there. I've got the, before the first bar. You could just start with Monday morning blues, but it'll sound kind of fun to have that. I've got the Monday morning blues, okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3. I've got the Monday morning blues. Don't want this day to start. I've got the Monday morning blues. Don't want this day to start. Thinking about the day ahead, it's tearing me apart. I've got the, and then you could start over and sing some other words in there. Or after the E7, just end with the A7 chord. Okay? Now if you were playing power chords, you could do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. I've got the Monday morning blues. Don't want this day to start. Now I sing the same thing. I've got the Monday morning blues. Don't want this day to start. I just have to rhyme start. Thinking about the day ahead, it's tearing me apart. So my first phrase was, I've got the Monday morning blues, don't want this day to start. Then I sing it again. I've got the Monday morning blues, don't want this day to start. Then all I've got to do is rhyme it. The last phrase, thinking about the day ahead, it's tearing me apart. So I've got some lyrics that fit that 12-bar blues. I've got 3 groups of 4 bars, same phrase twice, and then I rhyme it on the end. To write blues lyrics, one of the challenges is to get the rhythm of the melody to match the words. It might be easier to write the lyrics first and then write the rhythm to match the rhythm of the words when they're spoken. As in, Monday morning blues, don't want this day to start. And maybe put a pickup, I've got the. So you would have, I've got the Monday morning blues. Don't want this day to start. Okay? Now to write the melodic line, I'm going to use chord tones on the first beat of the measure, and maybe a lot of other places in the measure as well, but it's particularly on the first beat of the measure. Now you can stay on that same chord tone and repeat it over and over for some of the words if you want, or you can change it to some other chord tones or use some notes from the scale. So when the chords change, use chord tones that are close to each other. For example, here's Monday Morning Blues, and I started out with an A note. That's a note that's in an A7 chord. Monday Morning Blues, I've got the Monday Morning Blues. Now the same A note is in a D7. Don't want the day to start. So I'm using just basically notes that are in the chords. Monday Morning Blues, don't want this day to start, day to start. Okay, I used a couple of notes that are in the D7 chord there. But you notice that I kept the note from the A chord. When it changed to D7, I kept it, in fact, it was the same note here, but I tried to keep a note that's close to the last one. So I've got the Monday Morning Blues, don't want this day to start. So I keep it close together. Now in the next phrase, remember, in the blues lyrics, it's the same. I've got the Monday Morning Blues, don't want this day to start. Now when it goes to E7, I use a note that's in, or when it goes to E7, I use a note that's in E7, in this case a B note, second string open, but that's a note that's in the E7 chord. Now, your students can find the notes in the chords without having to know that a chord is built on a root third and fifth and flat seven. They can just look at the chord and say, that note's in the chord, because when I strum the chord, I play that note. So, tap, when I start on the E7 chord and I'm playing the B note, thinking about the day ahead. Now, you see where I'm thinking about the day ahead. So that has to match the rhythm of the word. Thinking about the day ahead, it's tearing me apart. So trying to get the rhythm to line up with the words, that's really important. And then as far as the pitch goes, really think chord tones, because those chord tones will coincide or will line up with the chord. Harmonically, it'll sound in sync with the chord. And when the melody note changes, when you play a new chord and it's a different melody note, try to keep the chord tones close to one another.